There was a time when football fans believed Neymar would become the next king of the sport, after Pelé, after Ronaldo, after Ronaldinho. Brazil had finally found its next global superstar. His skills were unbelievable. His confidence was unmatched. His highlights went viral before social media made viral videos a daily event. Millions believed Neymar would lead Brazil to another FIFA World Cup. But years later, one painful question still remains: what happened to Neymar's World Cup dream? This is the emotional story of one of football's most talented players. Neymar da Silva Santos J. Nair was born on February 5, 1992, in Mogi das Cruzes, Brazil. From an early age, football wasn't just a hobby. It was his life. His father, a former footballer, recognized Neymar's extraordinary talent almost immediately and dedicated himself to helping his son achieve greatness. As a child, Neymar amazed everyone with his dribbling ability. He could embarrass defenders who were twice his age. By the time he joined Santos FC's youth academy, coaches already believed they were watching a once-in-a-generation talent. At just 17 years old, Neymar made his professional debut. It didn't take long before Brazil fell in love with him. Every match seemed to produce another incredible goal, another unbelievable dribble, another moment of magic. Soon, European giants began fighting for his signature, but Neymar stayed at Santos long enough to help the club win the Copa Libertadores in 2011, bringing one of South America's biggest trophies back to the club for the first time in decades. Then came the move everyone expected. In 2013, Neymar signed for Barcelona. It was one of the biggest transfers in football history. Many wondered whether he could handle the pressure. The answer came quickly. Alongside Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez, he formed the legendary attacking trio known as MSN. Together, they destroyed defenses across Europe. In 2015, Barcelona won the historic treble. La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the UEFA Champions League. Neymar wasn't simply supporting Messi, he was becoming one of the world's best players himself. Then came the decision that shocked football. In 2017, Paris Saint-Germain paid a record-breaking transfer fee of €222 million, making Neymar the most expensive football player in history. The entire football world was stunned. Some believed he wanted to escape Messi's shadow. Others believed he wanted to become the world's best player on his own. The pressure was enormous. Although Neymar produced brilliant performances in France, injuries began to tell a different story. Every season seemed to bring another setback, another recovery, another missed opportunity. Then came the tournament that mattered more than anything else: the FIFA World Cup. For Brazil, winning the World Cup isn't simply a goal, it's an expectation. Every generation dreams of lifting football's most famous trophy. Neymar carried that responsibility on his shoulders. In 2014, disaster struck. During the quarterfinal against Colombia, Neymar suffered a serious back injury after a heavy challenge. His tournament ended immediately. Just days later, Brazil suffered one of the darkest nights in football history, a shocking 7-1 defeat against Germany. Many fans still wonder, could Brazil have avoided that historic collapse if Neymar had been fit? 4 years later, he returned in Russia. This time, he was healthy. Brazil once again entered the tournament among the favorites. But after reaching the quarterfinals, they were eliminated by Belgium. Another dream had ended. Then came Qatar in 2002, perhaps Neymar's final realistic chance to become a World Cup champion. He scored a brilliant goal against Croatia in extra time. Brazil looked certain to qualify. Then everything changed. Croatia equalized late. The match went to penalties. Brazil lost. As Croatian players celebrated, Neymar sat alone on the pitch. Heartbroken, tears filled his eyes. The dream he had chased since childhood had slipped away once again. For millions of fans, it became one of the most emotional images in World Cup history. Many believe that was the moment Neymar realized his greatest ambition might never become reality. But football wasn't finished testing him. After the World Cup, injuries continued affecting his career. In 2023, while playing for Brazil, Neymar suffered a serious ACL injury that kept him away from football for many months. The recovery became one of the toughest challenges of his entire career. Many critics questioned whether he would ever return to his best. Yet, Neymar refused to give up. Throughout rehabilitation, he continued sharing updates with supporters while working toward another comeback, because that's who Neymar has always been. Player who keeps fighting. And no matter how difficult the situation becomes. Today, debates continue. Some believe Neymar fulfilled his incredible potential. Others believe injuries prevented the world from seeing his absolute best. But one thing is impossible to deny. Very few players in football history have entertained fans the way Neymar has. His dribbles, his creativity, his confidence, his unforgettable goals, they inspired millions of young footballers across the world. Perhaps Neymar's career teaches us something bigger than football itself. Sometimes, success isn't only measured by trophies. It's measured by the joy you bring to millions of people. And regardless of whether he ever lifts the FIFA World Cup, Neymar has already secured his place among football's greatest entertainers. His story isn't only about victories. It's about resilience, passion, dreams, and the courage to keep chasing them even after heartbreak. The question now is, can Neymar write one final unforgettable chapter before his career comes to an end? Only time will tell. The final whistle had already blown. Brazil's World Cup dream was over. But for Neymar, the pain had only just begun. As Croatia celebrated their dramatic victory in the penalty shootout, Neymar stood alone on the pitch. He had done everything he could. He had scored a brilliant goal in extra time. He had given Brazil the lead. For a few unforgettable minutes, it looked like the dream was finally coming true. Then, in the closing moments of extra time, Croatia equalized. Everything changed. When the penalty shootout ended, television cameras captured Neymar sitting alone, tears running down his face. It became one of the most emotional images of the entire tournament. Millions of fans around the world felt his heartbreak. Within minutes, messages of support began pouring in. Brazilian legend Pelé shared an emotional message, encouraging Neymar to keep smiling and reminding him that his journey was far from over. He praised Neymar's talent and told him to continue inspiring Brazil. Former teammates and football stars also offered words of encouragement. Lionel Messi, despite representing Argentina, has spoken with great respect about Neymar over the years, and many football fans highlighted the strong friendship between the two superstars. Kylian Mbappé also showed support for his Paris Saint-Germain teammate, proving that rivalries disappear when a friend is hurting. Brazil captain Thiago Silva comforted Neymar immediately after the match. Several teammates embraced him, trying to lift his spirits after one of the toughest defeats of his career. The entire Brazilian squad understood what this loss meant. For Neymar, it wasn't just another defeat. It might have been his final opportunity to win football's biggest prize. After the match, Neymar admitted he wasn't sure whether he would continue representing Brazil. Those words shocked football fans everywhere. For the first time, retirement from international football felt like a real possibility. Many supporters feared they had already seen Neymar play his final World Cup match, but football wasn't finished challenging him. Less than a year later, another devastating setback arrived. While playing for Brazil in a World Cup qualifying match, Neymar suffered a serious knee injury. Doctors confirmed one of the worst possible diagnoses, a torn ACL, along with damage to his meniscus. The injury required surgery and many months of rehabilitation. Once again, critics questioned whether Neymar would ever return to his best. Some even claimed his greatest years were already behind him. But if there's one thing Neymar has shown throughout his career, it's resilience. Day after day, he worked through painful rehabilitation sessions, training, recovering, fighting to return. His social media updates showed determination rather than frustration. He thanked supporters around the world for standing beside him during one of the most difficult periods of his life. Meanwhile, Brazilian fans continued believing that Neymar still had something special left to offer. Many young players openly admitted that they grew up watching his skills on YouTube, his famous dribbles, his fearless confidence, his unforgettable goals. For an entire generation, Neymar wasn't simply a footballer, he was an inspiration. Even today, debates continue. Could Neymar have won the Ballon d'Or if injuries hadn't interrupted so many seasons? Could Brazil have lifted another World Cup with a fully fit Neymar? Those questions may never have clear answers. But one thing is certain. Very few players have entertained football fans the way Neymar has. His creativity changed matches. His confidence inspired millions. His flair reminded the world that football is meant to be beautiful. Now, as the next chapter of his career unfolds, fans continue asking one question. Can Neymar make one final comeback? Can he help Brazil chase another international trophy? Or will history remember him as one of football's greatest players never to win a World Cup? Only time can answer that. But regardless of what happens next, Neymar has already secured his place among football's greatest entertainers. His legacy isn't built only on trophies, it's built on unforgettable moments, on magical skills, on impossible goals, and on millions of young footballers who dare to dream.